gets laid. Dawn's in the building, his swag so tight. Check your feelings, he's exposing all the lies. Every Thursday at 8, his voice takes the stage. The man's got soul like a record with age.
Hey, welcome to the Old Black Man Podcast right here. The Don Miller Show, Thursday night, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Again, Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, I want to keep all of our friends in the Midwest in our prayers. There's a storm coming through there. Buckle down, batten the hatches, whatever they say. But just kind of be prepared to be in the house for a few days. I hope everybody's got what they need. And we got to keep all of our friends on a long stretch, Phil, across the country. Millions and millions of people will be affected by this storm. So we got to continue to think about those people. Mm-hmm. Welcome to the Don Miller Show. Hey, do me a favor. I'm supposed to say this. Subscribe and like. Subscribe and like. They tell me you don't say that enough. Subscribe and like. Listen, guys, in real life, shout out to my man, Phil the Podcast Doctor.
What up?
Hey, Phil, how you doing, man? Let me just say this. Let's look at those two just went up there. Come on, start it real quick. I want to see what they did. Okay, shout out to Miss Hope. Miss Hope has a show coming up at the
29th.
The 29th. It used to be the Improv, and they changed the name.
To the Funny
but
Bone.
we're going to
The Funny Bone.
The Funny Bone in Orlando, Florida. It used to be the Improv, but we're going to talk about that before we get out here. We love Miss Hope. She is a part of the Don Miller Show. We love her so much. She's an amazing person. Listen, the Don Miller Show. Check this out. Real shout out to Amber Cuccia at Amber Cuccia Designs, who make this look really good. She does a great job when she got time. But she over there, being a good mom and, doing all kind of making macaroni and cheese and, taking the kids to school and picking them up from school and, doing what she got to do to raise good kids. And thank you so much.
Super mom.
Thank you so much, Amber. Listen, got a lot I want to get to today. I'm going to talk a little slower. Normally I hit the show and I go 100 miles an hour, but my body is telling me I need to slow down and not go as fast. And also the listeners, they're saying, dude, you talk too damn fast, slow down. But look, if you have something you want to hear us talk about here on the Don Miller Show, drop us an email at amber@thedonmillershow.com. That's AMBER at thedonmillershow.com or don@thedonmillershow.com. We're looking forward to hearing what you all want us to kind of touch on. But tonight I want to touch on something. Listen, I'm a black guy. Y'all know that, right?
What?
And I've been working a long-ass time, and I cannot for the life of me understand how this dude, Don bitch-ass Lemon, okay, kept a job, and he was always in the middle, some nonsense. He was insulting to, first of all, black folks, shame on you Negroes, because Don Lemon started out, Phil, insulting black people first until they needed him in the box that they needed him in, and then he became black friendly. And so Don Lemon is at it again. He did something that I think, I don't care what party you in, let's take party out of this. He did something last weekend that I think everybody who calls himself a Christian, who attends church service regularly, should have been appalled by. He took his gay ass up into a church during service, and he thought it was cute to go in there with some other buffoons, a couple of idiot-ass black women, and shame on you clowns, okay? So they go into a church because they, from what they understood, the pastor of the church had a day job. Shout out to pastors who still have day jobs, right? And his day job was working for ICE, which is a governmental agency that a lot of people seem to be mad at right now. But that's his job. That's where he goes to feed his family. He just happens to be a pastor on Sundays. So Don Lemon shows up at a church along with two other clowns and a bunch of other fools who just kind of follow, misguided idiots, quite frankly. Yes, I call names. If you don't, go watch. You don't like what I'm saying, turn to something else. And they go to a church. Now, let me just say this. No politics for the next 5 minutes. If you call yourself a Christian and you saw how they went in and disrupted the house of the Lord, that's what y'all call it. Y'all call it the house of the Lord. It's the Lord's house, Sunday. And they go into this church They disrupt the service. And just listening to him say that, oh, I'm here as a journalist. Where you work, Don Lemon? They fired you from CNN. So where do you work now? Oh, guess what? He works for the Don Lemon. I got an iPhone camera. Okay, that's the new Don Lemon broadcast. I got an iPhone camera. And I just show up and stopping people on the street. Got his feeling hurt about 10 times last year, stopping people on the street, and everybody had the wrong answer. So he looked like a damn fool with an iPhone camera. And now he done attached themselves to these two idiots. One's Black Lives Matter, and the other one's, I have no idea who these people in Minneapolis is. I know the big monster. She's the new, she runs Black Lives Matter, that big monster right there. I don't know if that was a man or I don't know what the hell that was, but I could tell you that's a very unattractive female, okay? Man, I wouldn't do her with Joe. Anyway, thank you so much again. So let me just get to the point, right? So Don Lemon shows up at a church. I'm going to play this clip, and we're going to get back to this conversation.
This is an operation that is secret, that they invited folks out.
This is Operation Pull Up, more of a clandestine operation. We show up somewhere. They don't expect us to come there, and then we disrupt business as usual.
So right now it's kind of mayhem. We're not part of the activists, but we're here just reporting on them. Did they explain to you why they're here?
They did not.
They said that there is someone here in Easterwood, someone who is a member of ICE, and he's a pastor of the church.
Our church had gathered for worship, which we do every Sunday. We asked them to leave, and they obviously have not left.
So this is what the First Amendment is about the freedom to protest.
There's varying array of views in this church on politics of immigration. Recognize the complexity of the issue.
This shows you just how divided America is. When you look at the protesters here, and then you look at the people there who are praying, and you know what was the interesting thing? If these two groups could just get together, they
right
might
here,
figure out what to do.
I don't know.
I'm coming. Yeah, there you go.
That homosexual, that's clown behavior. You show up at somebody, I don't care what your politics are right now. How is that okay? These people are worshiping. You find out that the pastor has a day job that happens to be working for a governmental entity, and you like, no, we're gonna go to where he prays his Lord, his Jesus Christ. This is crazy to me. And somebody should be arrested. Well, thank the Lord that Nakima Levy Armstrong, the lady who went in with him, she has been arrested, and Chantel, big old giant ass Allen, they arrested her too today. Let me just say something, guys. I don't care what party you're in. Stop right here. That's not okay. If you are a Christian who goes to church, to that place on Sunday where peace abides, I don't care what the situation. Nobody should show up in there and protest. That is not okay. And for this clown to say that freedom of speech, come on, Don Lemon, where did you go to school? No, I know how Don Lemon got the job, and I know how he kept the job. He got the job and kept the job because at the time he was in a protected class, both gay and black. That is truly a protected class. What Don Lemon engaged in the entire time on CNN, okay, just insulting, ridiculous ass conversation, and they were afraid to fire him because he was both gay and black. And he called the gay card out this week when they were tearing his ass up about going to the church. I'm a gay black man. Nobody cares, okay? He's a clown. And it is appalling for real what this dude has done. We got to put the brakes on the gay card for him, and definitely the black card. He definitely ain't been black a long time. But to play that game and for them to keep him in this job, now he don't even have a job, but he's so attached to being famous that he done took out his camera phone and travels the country and attaches himself. This is terrible. Now we know why he should have been fired, but they couldn't because he was gay and black, a protected class. Let me just say this, guys. Some of the things that this guy has said during his career, we all should be scratching our head. He has no credibility. He has not had credibility for a very long time. Yet, because of his protected class, he was able to hold his job and make millions of dollars. And even after they fired him, they paid him a lot of money. Don Lemon has no credibility. And I hope people who watch this, and it's amazing how black people forget, this was the same dude that was punching the shit out of black people for years before they told him, this is what we want you in this spot now, gay and black. You can save the day as a gay black. It's nonsense. And then his words, and then his actions. Think about this. So this is when I knew he was a clown ass, right? He goes on Cuomo. I can't remember when it was, but he goes on Cuomo, and he was chanting the same thing that a bunch of the idiots who are not white for sure have been chanting for the last several years. You got that clip? Listen to
We
this.
have to stop demonizing people and realize the biggest terror threat in this country is white men.
Oh, the biggest terror threat in this country is white men. Now, I want the white men who are listening to the Don Miller Show at 8 p.m. on Thursday night. You guys are the biggest terror threat to this country, white men. How dare you be a terror threat to this country? Don Lemon said it. And then Don Lemon went home and bent over the bed to who? His husband's a white man. This is why you can't trust anything these clowns say. The biggest threat is white men, but he sleeps with one every night. Now, I don't know who the top or the bottom. They may be switchers. I can tell you this. How can you believe anything he says? He's not a journalist. When you go to a microphone and say the biggest threat is white men, and then you go right home to Jacoby, cut it out. Turn him off. He has no credibility. And to the Christian community, who has been kind of silent on this, Phil, I was hoping to hear from more people in the Christian community.
Yeah.
This guy hates white men, but he's married to one. Come on. No, he's getting a check to say what they want him to say. This is why you can't trust people like this. We have to listen to their words. Can you get that Cuomo clip one more time? Because I want to really spend a couple of minutes
We
on
have
this.
to stop
This is
demonizing people and realize the biggest terror threat in this country is white men.
Okay. Now let me calm down and have this conversation. Phil, you scared of a white man, but you go home to one every night.
I mean, I am scared of my wife.
Huh?
I said I am scared of my wife.
Again. But he ain't talking about a wife. He talking about a husband. I don't know who the husband is, right? I'm pretty sure he's the wife.
Oh, yeah.
The fact of the matter is, at what point do we look at people who are pushing this propaganda and call BS and say enough's enough? This guy's been a clown. He's been a clown. He's played every game he could play. When he needed to be black, he was black. When he needed to be gay, he was gay. But he was gay more often than he was black, okay? Let's keep that, as Jay Will Rob Kane would say, let's keep that a buck, right? Mm-hmm. He was more gay than black. The gay benefits outweigh the black benefits when needed to be. This is a guy we can't trust. And I want people to understand that this is where we are when the church community is not in an uproar. This guy is pastoring a church, but he has a job. What does his job have to do with him pastoring the church? This is why I don't trust the church anymore. Because what do you guys stand for? Everybody should be rubbed the wrong way on this one. There should be nobody who goes to church looking at this and saying, oh, hold on, time out, man. That was not okay. And then he goes in there with the two booger wolves, okay? Come on, man. Look at these two right here. One is the leader of BLM, and the other used to be the leader of BLM, right? Okay? You know, like, come on, right? So now BLM, Black Lives Marketing, because the show ain't Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Marketing.
Okay?
Can you please get that a shirt?
Yeah,
oh, my God.
The show ain't Black Lives Matter,
Oh,
okay? The show ain't Black Lives Matter. It's Black Lives Marketing. Because if it was Black Lives Matter, they'd be on the south side of Chicago a long time ago. They would be in Flint, Michigan when babies was drinking dirty water. If Black Lives Matter, right? So it definitely ain't Black Lives Matter. You out here marching in the street, okay, for some nonsense and some Somali thieves who shouldn't even be in this country, who done ripped off the government to the tune of $9 billion, and ICE and swooped down, and a lady got killed who tried to kill the police. Oops, if that was Jontavius, Shrontavius, Shaquan, or any of them, we wouldn't be saying nothing. So white lady tries to run over the police. He hits her in the head, pop, pop, bye, lady. Damn, Don Miller, you so insensitive. Yep. Because I see it all the time. And then you go tote out these two butch, one of them definitely a butch stud, what Holly used to call them, bull daggers, right? You got to get the big bull dagger. She done showed up, and she like, what is she doing, right? This is a problem for me. You go out here and attach yourself. See, Black Lives Matter had faded away because they stole all that money when George Floyd, the criminal, died on the sidewalk. And now they need more attention, so they go get the two bull daggers, two studs, and then I don't know if the other lady stood with the long braids, but that other one, I don't know if she a stud, but I can tell you what she is. She's a wildebeest. But the other lady's a stud, right? The big old gigantic ass stud who's standing in the snow with her Nikes on from Black Lives Marketing, because it ain't Black Lives Matter. And now all of a sudden, Don Lemon, the elitist black guy who made $10, $15 million a year, he done touched himself to the stud community. Come on, man. Don Lemon wouldn't have had two words to say to them two ladies if he didn't need some attention. He wouldn't have said hello to them. And we got to understand that when your star fades, you try to find any scenario you can to attach yourself to stay relevant. Don took his ass to Minnesota to stay relevant. Okay, he left his cozy place wherever he lived with his little white husband, and he went to Minnesota and marched on a church to stay relevant. Not because he gave a damn. Because if Don gave a damn, he'd be somewhere making a difference. He got enough money to do that for sure. You lose your job and you still want to hold on. Man, do what smart people do. Fade away, homie. You had a good run. It was all propaganda driven, but you had a good run. And then people got tired of you and your protected class faded away. Okay? Stop it. I know people who lost their job for way less. Let's play this Don Lemon in the studio clip. Let's see how dumb how he rolled out on this dumbness. Go ahead, man.
This whole talk about age makes me uncomfortable. I think it's the wrong road to go down. She says people, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
What are you talking? Wait.
That's not according to me.
Prime for what?
It depends. I mean, it's just like prime. If you look it up, if you Google when is a woman in her prime, it'll say 20s, 30s, and 40s. I don't necessarily.
40s. Oh, I got another.
I'm not saying
decade.
I agree with that. So I think she has to be careful about saying that politicians aren't in their prime.
You need to qualify. Are you talking about prime for like childbearing, or are you talking about prime for being president?
What the facts are. Google it. Everybody at home. When is a woman in her prime? It says 20s, 30s, and 40s. And I'm just saying Nikki Haley should be careful about saying that politicians are not in their prime and they need to be in their prime when they serve, because she wouldn't be in her prime according to
Google?
Google or whatever it is.
Just Google it, Emily. It's facts.
Let me say you something. Only a sissy would say that on TV. Only a gay-ass man would be so comfortable to say that, Phil.
Why are you gay?
Only, come on, who says that? Listen to me, man. But he stuck his chest out when he said it. Because he's talking about one of the girls. You can't say that, man. No. But they got his ass up out of there on that one, didn't they? Mm-hmm. All the other dumb stuff he said. Okay, he's dumb. He's just a dumb, he's black and he's gay, and if we fire him now, we might get marched on by the blacks and the gays, right? Now they realize he had no coverage. They like, get your ass out of here. Because he has never had credibility. And now, when the gay card and the black card has fallen to quite a low level, hey, we can save us some millions if we get rid of this sissy right now. For real. And now he is so attached to being somebody that he takes out his iPhone camera and he heads to Minnesota. Not to cover the fact that the Somalians are robbing and pillaging. No, not that. Not the fact that they have ripped off the system to one of the greatest numbers of all time. No, not that. He goes there to go to a church that's pastored by a government worker and storms upon these people's worship. That's enough for him. We should all cancel his gay ass right now. And if y'all know this sister, you tell him Don Miller on the Don Miller Thursday Night Podcast. I've been canceled before. Y'all can't cancel me. But this is highly inappropriate, sir. I'm just amazed that I am not hearing from the Christian community more. Look.
Why do you think that is, though?
Because everybody's scared, man. Look, I'm a backslider. I don't know if you guys ever grew up in church. Phil, you grew up in church. A backslider is someone who has fallen off. You know what I mean? And that means you kind of like, you know, you lost your place, right? I used to go all the time. I was there. And then I kind of like, I started enjoying staying at home a little more. Okay, not that I was enjoying the sin more than the worship, but it was a little easier to sin. You know what I mean? The sin can come to you. You got to go to the church. And so my point is this. I was appalled by it. And I'm texting some of my preacher friends and ain't none of them responding. A couple of them responded like, oh, I didn't see it. You saw it. You're just afraid to say something. Or you call yourself a Christian, but you live in a liberal mindset, which means you're not a Christian. Oops. Did I say that? Because I don't know how you can be Christian and ride the train of liberalism. I don't think it's possible. But so be it if that's what you choose. But we have to stand against this type of behavior. And if it's that church today, guys, it might be your church tomorrow. It's that church in Minnesota today, but it might be your church tomorrow. How will you stand up to this? I'm just saying, I know, I'm telling you, when people are comfortable, not because the church is harboring a fugitive, nope, but simply because the guy who leads the worship has a day job. You ever had a job that just was your job and you went there and you fed your family and you went on home? Most of us.
Aren't those most jobs?
Right. But why would you go to his job? There are people out here right now, there are churches right now that are harboring illegals. I haven't seen a bunch of people storm on them because we have to separate that. And we have to understand that even when people disagree with us, a religious institution or place of worship should be set aside. Would you agree, Phil?
I agree with you.
And for them to do this and think it's okay, y'all lost me on that one, man. So shout out to all these people who think this is wrong and some of these scary ass pastors who think this is okay. This is not okay. It's not okay. And of course, it's easy to get a guy who is starving for attention to go do this. Because I know a lot of journalists who would have been like, nah, I ain't going in there. I know a lot of legitimate, hardworking, good journalists who would have been like, nah. I know a lot of media outlets would not have allowed a journalist to go in that building. This is how you know he's not a journalist. He's a rogue guy who lost his job, who wants attention. And maybe his husband ain't giving him the attention he needs. Maybe the little dogs ain't enough. Shame on you, sir. Shame on you. Hey, Phil, look, I want everybody to head over to the DonMillerShow.com. Go to the store. We got a store over there. And
we have a code. It's DMS10.
The DMS10 is the code. If you want to get some Don Miller Show coffee mugs or whatever you need, DMS10 at the DonMillerShow.com. Somebody just posted something, and I want to pull that back up. They would never have the guts to do that to a mosque. I think you are correct, my friend, and that speaks volumes to the level of commitment across the board. And listen to me, when the Christian church, look, I've been saying for years, man, I hate to say this, y'all don't take this the wrong way. I don't care if you take it the wrong way. When did Christians become bitches? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you roll up If they would have just punched people in the face, the parishioners, I would have been all right with that. Phil, I'm telling you right now. Just Deacon Willie was sitting in the back and just take out his pistol and just pistol whip one of them. I would be all right with that. How can you not defend the house of the Lord? People over in the corner crying and bowing down, and Don Lemon, he over there making fun of it. Reverend Judge would have never stood. Shout out to Steve Jones, who spent his entire career protecting and serving the community. Man, I love you, Steve. You know that. And he's talking about Reverend Judge, who was a great man of God here in our community for many, many years, who marched face-to-face, went up against the KKK, and stood firmly against the KKK. Shout out to Kevin Berry, the sheriff at that time, who stood right with Reverend Judge. And again, who are these people? Who are these? Look, I get it. Who are the congregants that are just like, oh, my God? You could see the pastor's face, Phil. The pastor was frightened. Yeah. Like, and you know, they got these church security. Maybe this is a church that didn't have church security. Because I know some church security will roll on you. But Don Lemon, man, the shame of you, man. Look, I know they tried to bring charges when they brought charges on the two stud muffins today. They were both arrested. I know they tried to figure out a way to bring charges on Don Lemon. From what the media is reporting, a judge declined to charge Don Lemon. Hopefully, they can figure that out. Pam Bondi or somebody. Something has to be done. This guy went into the church and quite frankly poked fun at him, Phil.
So we got this text message. This is kind of long, so I'll have to read it to you.
Go for it.
It says, being retired, I'm on the internet all day. Social media, reading all kinds of posts, watching all kinds of videos, and the American people are pissed with Don Lemon. He's done. You'll see from what I've read today, they were all calling for his arrest.
Well, I hope so. I'm calling for his arrest. That was wrong. It was unnecessary. He went in there 100% Phil to create havoc. And he was not there. I don't care what he says. He was not there as a journalist. Not at all. He was there enjoying it. He was in there. He was just on 10. He was so just, you remember they used to say, they didn't say it, I said it. He was happy as a sissy with a bag of penises, right? He was in there, right? He was like, that was his day. He was somebody again, right? And I just hope it backfires. I really do, right? He was in there just skipping around and smiling with the damn iPhone camera. Like, look where I am, guys. I'm in a church with Black Lives Marketing. You know what I mean? Like, come on, Don. But again, Don has no credibility, and I'm sure nobody will hire him after that. And I hope Mr. Terranova is correct that people are calling for this guy to be canceled. Again, I want to shout out to the LGBT community. Ain't nobody scared of y'all no more. Okay, y'all had us scared for a minute. You know what I mean, Phil? We was frightened, man. Don't you say nothing about them. Well, nobody's afraid of you guys anymore. And I want to shout out my friends in the LGBT community. We love you guys. And you know what I mean when I say that, because for a number of years, the LGBT community has been the biggest bullies in America. And now we want to, y'all got to let this guy go, man. I remember the Dave Chappelle, the race draft. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. Great.
Y'all got to let, LGBT, y'all got to let Don Lemon go. Y'all need to trade him because enough with Don Lemon again. I'm going to get back to Minnesota. They went to Minnesota standing up for a community of people who have blatantly come to a country and have very little respect for it. I'm talking about the Somalian community. Man, I'm so tired of them damn Somalians, the thieves and the robbers and pillagers who came to this country for a better life, and now they have taken advantage of the system. And I'm glad to see that people are paying attention to it, and there have been some arrests made on the gigantic-ass theft, $9 billion from some estimates that I'm reading. But I want to just say this, and they're playing an ugly game, the Somalians. I saw a Somalian lady, Phil, do an interview. And you ever see somebody doing an interview and you know they lying?
Yeah, they get the shifty eyes.
Yeah, Phil, you got that interview with the lying Somalian lady?
About the stopping the businesses or the other one?
The other one.
All right.
Yeah, she out here lying. You can look at her.
Yeah, here we go.
Following these two men, and I was waiting for these two men to hold the door for me, and I told them, hey, can you hold the door for me? And I walked right in the middle, and when I was in the middle, ICE came. They came out of their cars. They asked me to see my ID, and while they were asking me to see the ID, they just decided it was nice to be racist and say really nasty things to me. And that man, he called me the N-word, and he called me that, and then he arrested me. They arrested me. It was multiple people. They used a lot of force to arrest me. I actually got a scab that was healing while I was in jail. But they pushed me hard. They used a lot of violence. My body still hurts. I got a concussion. It's really hard for me to speak because of that concussion. They were just using a lot of force to arrest me, and I was screaming, I was crying, I was so scared. I've never been arrested in my life. I don't have a criminal record. I have a clean record. It was just, and then that detainment, I was detained. I was literal cuffed.
Cut it out, you big forehead liar, your forehead giant as hell. Stop it.
That was brutal.
That was brutal. Did that sound like somebody who had a traumatic ass arrest? Nope. Nope. And they detained me and they arrested me and I had a scab that was healing. Stop it.
When I was in detainment, they detained me. That's what she said.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Amber said.
Amber, you terrible. But what is that about, man?
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
But think about this. So these Somalians, guys, I'm sorry, Somalian, man. Those Band-Aids are great for a concussion. Now, I'm like, ladies, you're lying. It is so easy. Man, Phil, did you pause that or cut it?
I stopped it.
Okay, anyway.
It's 2 minutes of nonsense.
It's nonsense, right? Come on, ma'am. And at the end of that, she starts fake crying, you know? Stop it.
Let me see if I can find it.
You are lying, okay? And then you put the two big Band-Aids on her head. Look, if I'm trying to prove to the American people that I just got manhandled, they gonna see the blood gushing out of the hole, right?
All right,
You put big-ass Band-Aids on her big-ass, gigantic-ass head. She got a lot
crying
of face
together. We were holding each other tight. And I'll never forget, the fear that we both felt in our hearts that day. And, I'm so sorry if I'm getting a little emotional, but...
Okay, stop it. That's a Somalian actress. Okay? Feel.
That was bad.
Babe, listen, people. What are we doing? What are we doing, Amber? What are we doing, Phil? That is Justice Smollett. 100%. Speaking of Justice Smollett, remember who told Justice Smollett that the police didn't believe him? Don Lemon.
No.
Text Justice Smollett.
No.
Google that right while you're over there. Don Lemon text Smollett. And then Don Lemon, after Jesse told the police, Don Lemon had to come public and say, yes, I did text him. Don Lemon it's my gay buddy. I got to text him. He texted Jesse in the midst of an investigation. He should have got fired for that.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
Wow. Don Lemon admits that he warned him by text that police weren't believing his story.
Yeah.
Man.
That's called conspiracy. It's got to be called something. If I know the police own you, Phil, and I'll be like, Phil, they own you. They'll come and get me.
Yeah, that's
But Don Lemon kept his job because he was gay and black. Think about this. So now, hopefully, he's gone. Were those bandages? Those were knee bandages. You're right. She did steal the money, guys. And the problem is, man. So then let's go back to Minnesota before I turn the corner in this conversation. I got a lot to get to. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Do me a favor, subscribe and like. Tell your friends about the show. There are times when we come in with very hard-hitting topics, and then there are times when we just take our time. The motto of this show is listen, laugh, and learn, and I will never deviate from that motto. I just believe there's laughter in all we do, but sometimes you have to laugh to keep from crying and be disgusted. So Another Somalian lady did a video. They covering these Somalians, man. I don't know that Somalians have beat the Nigerians by 10. All the Nigerians do is sit behind a computer and send you a Nigerian scam email. Somalians going to the bank, getting the money. Like, hey, I'm a Somalian, give me the money. Listen to this Somalian lady. She wants to start a boycott.
Carmel is shutting down. Every single business we went and asked them, are you gonna protest? Are you aware of what's happening? And they say yes. We gather in meetings, we put in flyers all over Minnesota. We don't tolerate violence. We don't tolerate discriminations. We don't tolerate grabbing people from their own house. That's why they're at the street, to put fear in our hearts so they can isolate us. I know we have a good people and we have a unity and we have unions. We are reaching out with each other. We're marching on the 23rd.
Stop, Phil. Shut up. Shut up, okay? You know what? It's up. It's time. We know, okay? We know what you guys are doing. You're caught. Not all of you, but most of you. It ain't all of nobody, but it's most. In Minnesota, $9 billion, that's a lot of damn Somalians. Because the good Somalians, they move to Milwaukee. They were like, I'm getting up out of here.
I don't know the logistics of this, but how did the Somalians get to Minnesota, though?
Some nice whites.
Oh.
Some nice whites during a very, very, very difficult period in Somalia. A lot of white missionaries were visiting Somalia. White, good Christian missionaries were going to Somalia and helping, and they started bringing a lot of them back to the United States, which I thought was a good deed, a great gesture, because the country was in ruins and in war.
This is in Black Hawk Down?
Yeah, same place.
Okay.
And they brought them there, and a lot of them have done well. But again, there's always going to be some bad apples. The problem is that money was so easy to get because of the structure and the liberalism and the lead of liberalism in that city, especially in the Twin Cities area, that the Somalians saw a lick, and they hit a lick. And it's just when you live in a liberal, hardcore liberal environment, to those of us who live in the South, I got a guy told me the other day, man, I could never live in Florida. And I'm like, and we don't want you. Okay, please. We full. Okay, they need to put a sign on 75 and 95 that say we full. Turn around.
Please.
Okay, because we don't want you people. And so Minnesota became a dump for years, especially Twin Cities, and a terrible dump, like about as left-wing as you can get, and uninformed people. I'll give you an example real quick before I turn the corner here. When George Floyd's situation came about and the black people were protesting the police department, that cop should not have even been a cop. Okay, let's be clear. George Floyd was not he was more of a criminal than probably anybody you see in that circumstance. He was definitely not a hero, okay? And that cop should have been gone. The reason why that cop was still on the department, even though with all of his infractions, you go look, they're public infractions, because the state attorney of Hennepin County at the time was a lady named Amy Klobuchar. She was horrible. She looked the other way on a bunch of stuff. And I'm watching these black people protest and march up and down the street in Minneapolis and burning up their own shit. Okay, sorry about that, but that's a fact, right? We the only people burning our own shit up. Like, who's that gonna hurt? And they're marching because of this, what they call this injustice, but nobody is marching against Amy Klobuchar, who was the state attorney who allowed the cop to stay on the job as long as he did. And she out here running for president at the same time, and the Negro is marching and still supporting this broad. I'm like, come on. Go look, Google that name, Amy Klobuchar. So they're out here marching for this injustice, what they deem as an injustice, but they supporting the lady who let the dude keep his job. And this is the problem when I tell you guys to read. This is the problem. They're supporting Amy Klobuchar, who was the Hennepin County, Minnesota state attorney, when the cop's name had gone before her office on multiple occasions. And of course, he still had his job. Now, look, I support law enforcement. I don't have to go down the road that people go down. Everybody in law enforcement who knows me know my position on how I feel about law enforcement. So I'm not doing that nonsense, right? But this cop probably should have been gone. But of course, the state attorney, liberal ass Amy Klobuchar, who had her monkey ass in the presidential race, and the same Negroes that were marching against the cop who shouldn't have had the job, was marching for the state attorney who let the cop stay.
Wow.
How ridiculous is that?
So it also says right here, this is as recent as 6 hours ago from the New York Times, is that Amy Klobuchar files papers for run to succeed Tim Walz as Minnesota governor.
Right. Amy Klobuchar. Right. Yeah. Guess what?
She's ugly too.
Huh?
She's ugly too.
And guess what, though? What? The Negroes going to vote for her because they don't read. What I say about books? Books don't bite. Stop it. Stop. Minnesota is a dump. Tim No Balls Walz was a weirdo. And they put him on the ticket to be the vice president. When they put him on there, I was like, first of all, I knew the fake black lady wasn't going to win. I knew that. But when they put him on there, I was like, oh, she sure ain't going to win. The problem is we need to put a fence around Minnesota, like a big giant-ass fence around Minnesota. Okay? You can go in, but nobody can come out. Because that's a dump. And the mindset, the mindset and the liberal views, I'm telling you right now, they had a transgender city council person, big old tall ass. You know, look, I'm going to just say this. Y'all know I'm anti-trans, right? Mm-hmm. And let me just say this, right? But if you choose to be a transgender, right? Because I just want to tell y'all something. A transgender woman is still a man. Just in case y'all didn't know that, okay? Mm-hmm. So, but even if you want to move into that direction, man, at least shave all the hair off your face. No, for real, man. I saw a person the other day, and I was like, I thought it was about trying to appear a certain way, right? Like, if you got more scruggly than me, what are we doing here? So anyway, look, shame on Minnesota. It's going to continue to be a problem. I'm amazed you just told me that. I didn't even know Amy Klobuchar wants to run for governor of Minnesota. She's currently the senator. Wow, that's amazing. Okay. Wow. So let's put a fence around Minnesota. Thank you so much, everybody. The Don Miller Show. Every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Follow us on all platforms. The Don Miller Show on all platforms. Insightful conversation. We try to. I am putting together a great show, guys. I'm going to tease it in the next week or so that you don't want to miss this show. Some real insightful people. I want to just touch on something real quick before I turn the corner. Last week I mentioned Dr. Martin Luther King, and
man, you had me shook, man. I was texting you 2 days later, man.
I know you were, and I said some things. A lot of people kind of were, I don't know if they were offended, but I could tell you they were misinformed. There were people sending me messages that I was lying on Dr. King, and I had no proof. Well, we got a great conversation with some scholars coming up in the next few weeks. This is not to demean Dr. King or anything, but I just want people to be informed. It is amazing when we allow our enemy to pick our enemy, you know? We're the only culture that embraces our enemies, picking our enemies. You got to know who you... Look, I grew up in a house with a velvet picture of Dr. King and John F. Kennedy, right? Velvet. And you put the light on it. It was kind of like it glowed in the dark, man. It was like Jesus in his sidekick kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, that's how, you know.
I think I had that too.
Yeah. And so as I got older, I just really wanted to know more because I started not really believing a lot of things that I was reading because I'll never forget my mama went in significant debt to buy us probably a gigantic set, maybe 60 books at the time, of Encyclopedia Britannica. They were red, and we didn't have the money to buy them cash out, so she had a payment plan, and you know they probably was charging a grip.
40% interest.
It took like 5 years to pay them off. And by the time we paid them off, everything in the book
was outdated.
You know what I mean? Like, damn. But I used to love to get Encyclopedia Britannica, and everybody in the hood had this, right? Mm-hmm. And then one day, as I got a little older, and there was a University of Chicago, was not far from where I grew up. It was a prestigious institution, still is today. And a friend of mine took me to the library at the University of Chicago. I'll never forget this. And I was reading something that I had been reading in Encyclopedia Britannica. And I realized, damn, this ain't what this, And, I realized we had bought the bootleg version of Encyclopedia, right? Mm-hmm. So it pushed me to realize how important it is to do research and open your mind. And I could only go back there a couple of times, but I got really caught up into going to places where scholars went. And that is why I found myself some years ago, as I mentioned on the last broadcast, wanting to read the King Papers. And I spent a lot of time on that. And I was stunned and devastated when I found out in his writings that MLK probably wasn't a Christian. And D'Amica Page, shout you out. I love you so much over there, who had gone down a rabbit hole as well, and several other people who've been sending me messages. We're going to get to that, and we're going to have a conversation about that. But I can tell you it's in his own writing. So for the lady who told me I was lying on Dr. King and that the white man was paying me to say that, I just want her to know if there's a white man out here got some money he want to give me, I'd take his money, but I'm not going to come on here and lie.
Don, I got some breaking news.
What?
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Amber did it. Black Lives Marketing.
Yeah, head over to the Don Miller Show right now for sale. Discount code DMS10, Black Lives Marketing. Right now on the Don Miller Show, head over to, man, don't you love her, man?
Yeah.
Right on the website, thedonmillershow.com. Buy that shirt, buy that hoodie for sale right now.
Yeah, get the hoodie. It's cold outside.
Yeah, use the code DMS10 and get a 10% discount. Man, I love you, Amber. Listen, real quick, guys, I want to talk about something. I played something last week, a song by a guy that I respect. He's a great, great artist. Oftentimes, I kind of enjoy engaging with brilliant thinkers. And there are things that I say is a word I don't like to use, and I probably don't use it on the air, and I probably wouldn't promote it on the air at all. But I think when you live in a certain environment, there's certain things that you can kind of say and not say. But at the end of the show, I want to hit something real quick. But I just want to touch on something. So a lady stops me yesterday in a restaurant, and she went on and on about Tom Homan. Tom Homan is the immigration, he's the border czar. He's a lifelong ICE officer. He has been with the department for a long, long time. And ICE, for those who don't know, is Immigration Customs Enforcement. And so Tom Homan leads that organization, leads that agency now. So a lady runs up in my face, and she was like, Tom Homan's a racist, and I don't know why Donald Trump would give a racist that job, and he's a horrible racist, and he hates anybody that's not white, and Tom Homan is a white supremacist. And I said, oh, really? She was like, yes, and you need to talk about this on your show. And I said, you know what, Margaret? Oh, shit. I said the lady's name. I got to catch myself. I said, well, you know what? I'm going to talk about that on my show. You say you want me to go talk about Tom Homan, the racist immigration border czar, right? So let me tell y'all about Tom Homan. Tom Homan was awarded one of the highest honors for someone in his position by the guy who hired him. Let's put a picture up of the guy who hired Tom Homan. Barack Obama hired Tom Homan and gave him the 2015 Presidential Rank Award for work leading ICE's enforcement and removal operation. Tom Homan removed every one of Barack Obama's millions and millions of illegals. Same guy, Tom Homan. So Margaret, yeah, I'm going to say your name, Margaret. So Tom Homan, the racist, was hired by the first black president. Oops. I guess a lot of people didn't know that, huh, Phil? Right? So Donald Trump keeps the guy that Obama had putting people out the country. So why is he a racist now? And why would Obama hire a racist? How dare Obama to hire a racist guy? Huh? Phil?
Huh?
Right. Stop it, people. Go read. Tom Homan is a lifer with this agency. And he had one job, to get people out of here. And he was so good at it. Barack Hussein Obama, to many of you guys, the baby Jesus. He hired him and gave him an award for being the best at it. So Donald Trump says, if he's that good, I'll keep him. And he hired him. Cut it out, man. It's amazing, man. Boy, listen to me, man. Right. Liberals didn't complain about ICE until January 2025. Absolutely. Because it was Donald Trump. When Obama was scooting them up out of here in record number with Tom Homan at the leadership, nobody said a word. Now Trump got him, and it's like he's a racist. Do you understand how dumb some of y'all sound? Stop. This guy's a lifer. He's very good at his job. But he's okay when the black guy hires him. But no, don't let Trump hire him, because if Trump hires, anything Trump touches racist. Cut it out. You sound like dummies. Well, you are dummies. If you live in a liberal mindset, quite frankly, you ain't real smart. So cut it out. And to the white lady, Miss Margaret, man, I'm telling you right now, I'm struggling with white liberals, guys. I want all them to get away from me at this point. If you're a white liberal and you live in a mindset where you don't read or attach them, I think I'm okay with you not being my friend. I think, cause, I'm just being honest with you. Because stop it. You telling me this guy's and I kind of was offended because, I don't know. He's a racist. Trump hired Tom Homan. He's a racist. Have you heard him talk about getting the illegals out of the country? And I'm saying to myself, you mean the same Tom Homan that Barack Hussein Obama gave him a gigantic award? And let me tell you about that award he got. You get money with that award. You're a senior leadership award. So cut it out, guys. Please do that for me. Stop it. Go read something. Have more information. That's all I'm asking. Okay, let me hit something real quick. Man, I didn't think I'd get to all of this today. But it was very important that I did. So getting back to the N-word in the song I played last week, From My Heart, I love this song. Because I've been driving down the street. I've been watching TV. I've been on the airplane. I've been in the airport. And I've asked myself this question before.
These niggas.
Okay? I've asked myself that question. Because I don't know some of these people. I don't know people who act like this. So I'm watching a video of some young people. And I was so appalled by what I saw that I wanted to bring it to the platform. Phil, let's watch this.
I had 8 abortions in total. I was messing with this dude, and I told him I could not have kids. So he wanted to test it out, but I was buying Plan Bs behind his back because he was cool to with, but he wasn't cool to have no baby by. We listen, but we don't judge.
I had 2 abortions this year.
We listen, but we don't judge.
FTK.
Play this song.
I need to know who are these niggas? Who are these niggas?
Who are these people, Phil?
Trash.
We listen, but we don't judge. You had 8 abortions. You don't look 20 years old. I had 2 abortions last year. She looked 16.
That's disgusting.
Who are they? Who are the parents of? Come on. And you wonder when people say things like, come on, I'm not mad at anybody out there who say something bad about them. That is a shame. We listen, but we don't judge. Well, guess what, guy? Don Miller judge. I drink and judge. I do it all the time. I drink and judge. I judge even when I'm not drinking. If you engage in stupidity like that, you should be judged. You had 8 abortions? And you're comfortable going to a microphone? Oh, gosh. You should be seeking some kind of help, young lady. And I really believe that. These young people need some kind of help. I know they need a church home, for sure. But I also think they need some kind of other help, man. They definitely need a church home. And they go to a microphone with cameras in the room. And it's not even like a testimony. It's not even like I'm moving to a better place and please keep me in your prayers and pray for me that I get over this trauma, because it's going to be trauma. But who are they, Phil?
To a place where we never have to see these niggas again.
Thank you so much again, everybody. Listen, I know that might have offended some people, but you'll be all right. You hear it all the time. You listen to it in the music. Okay, cut it out. All right. Look, I ain't big on the word, but sometimes the word fits so well. Let me just say something, man. Thank you so much, Patty. That's Patty Hughes. Hey, thank you so much, Patty Hughes. You know, I'm just real about this, guys, and I know some of the things you hear on this show, you're probably not going to hear anywhere else, but I just want you to know the Don Miller Show is me really in real life. And you're right, Betty. This is the first, especially in the black community, and oftentimes in the white community as well. We're living in the first generation of unchurched young people. And that is so devastating, especially living in this time, because the spiral is real and it's continuing. I just want people to know, when you turn this show on, we listen and we don't judge on the Don Miller Show, Phil. Yeah, okay. We listen and I say it together, Phil. We listen and we don't judge. So if you call here and you want your feelings, you might want to get your ass and listen to something else. So again, on the 29th, right, at 7 p.m. in Orlando at the Funny Bone. Miss Hope will be performing. Have you heard Miss Hope on the Don Miller Radio Show? We got to get Miss Hope over here in the studio at some point. But she's got a comedy show, January 29th, the Funny Bone in Orlando, 7 p.m. Miss Hope is hilarious. She's sharp. We call her, she calls herself somebody's mama, which she is. And her humor, Amber's like, but her humor is kind of raunchy. And I'm like, it ain't raunchy. It's just nasty. Nasty ass humor. I kind of like. You like Richard Pryor, you like Miss Hope.
Yeah. And
the truth is the truth. And no matter how you lay it out there, it's still the truth. But again, look, head back over to the DonMillerShow.com. Put that shirt up. Get this shirt. This shirt just dropped. You'll be the first person to get this shirt. I don't even have that shirt yet. Okay? That's right there. The hoodie, the shirt. Look at some of the other stuff we got. Black Lives Marketing, because that's what it is. It's a marketing campaign paid for by propagandists to draw attention. Black Lives Matter. If Black Lives Matter, we wouldn't be killing each other, okay, like we kill each other, okay? I promise you there ain't an epidemic of white men killing black men in this country, but there's truly an epidemic of black men killing black men. So Black Lives Matter, I think the headquarters for that organization, Black Lives Marketing, should be in the hood in Southside Chicago, Jacksonville, Florida, Liberty City, many of those places where people are murdering each other in the street that look like me. Okay, so Black Lives Matter, I think the first step to dealing with Black Lives Matter is to be stop killing each other. So go on with that nonsense. If you don't like it, you'll find something to like, because what I'm not going to do on this show is deviate from the truth. Again, thank you so much, y'all. Man, I'm so excited. Got so much going on, man. I'm looking forward to building the show here. We left radio a few weeks ago. We hit the ground running, and I really enjoy coming on, just chatting with my friends, man. Just guys, hit me up, man. Sometimes I just don't get any messages on social media. I don't know if y'all love me like y'all used to, but just drop me and say hi, Don. Just say I'm thinking about you, Don. Just send me a blessing. You know what I mean? Something. But I really appreciate you, and I could not do this without your support. Shout out to Amber, who is always working hard, man. Amber, you have become such a great part of what we do here. I don't know what I'd do, be honest with you, without you, even though you get on my nerves at least 3 times a day. But we still, appreciate you, appreciate what you do for this broadcast, and the fact that you're solid and one of the best at it. And congratulations to all the support that you're getting. Amber is blowing up, and I kind of be in my feelings about it, Phil, because she's spending more time talking to the other clients.
Oh, yeah?
And I don't get enough.
Getting a little jealous there?
Yeah, I am getting a little jealous there. But she's working on some gigantic Republican campaigns across the country, conservative campaigns, and she's doing great work.
Yeah, we love Amber.
And we love you, Amber. Hey, Phil, the Podcast Doctor.
Yeah.
Always head over to the Podcast Doctor on all platforms.
Just Google me. Yep.
Google Phil. I'm telling you right now. Shout out to them Indiana Hoosiers. Yep, I said it right here. Shout out to them Indiana Hoosiers, that is my kind of team. A bunch of guys that work hard together, that grind together. No 5-star players, no prima donnas, a great quarterback, and a phenomenal coach who has shown America that you can win if you keep everybody on the same page. Again, thank you so much. I'll be back next Thursday. The Don Miller Show on all platforms. Go buy that shirt. We love you. Bye, y'all.
Who are these?